Being a colocation player, how do you get a PUE down low when you're working with so many external companies?
Yeah, that's obviously a challenge. There's only so far you can go. We are not in control of the IT equipment of our customers, obviously. But there's still a lot you can do. A lot of efficiency to be gained on the cooling side, for example. We did a lot with free cooling at the new data hall that we recently opened, and that drove down the PUE from 1.4 to 1.2. So that's a big issue. But the other issue, and that's where the Data Center Code of Conduct is focused on also, we are an endorser of the Data Center Code of Conduct, is that you can work together with your customer and educate them also on how they can be more efficient and what efficiency gains they can achieve. And that in the long run is going to be interesting for them also, because they are in the long run paying less for the energy they are consuming.
Are there other energy efficiency measures you might be doing? I mean, you get renewable power in. You're saying you use free cooling. I'm not sure what sort of system that is. I know there's many types of free cooling that people take on. Is there anything else in the data center that you're looking at that might be different for Evoswitch?
Yeah, so on the cooling side we are doing adiabatic cooling. That's the free cooling type we are using. The other thing is getting the temperature in the cold aisle up. So we are currently at 24 degrees Celsius. So that's an interesting point. Having energy efficient UPSs. So if you look at it for example at the Google server, they've broken up the UPS and built the UPS into the server. So we obviously can't go into the server, but we can break the UPS up in different parts, in different modules, and that's kind of the way we are currently operating. We have a modular build-out structure where we can build out kind of in a just-in-time approach for our customers, and those modules are totally self-contained data centers in essence. Well, the way that we approached UPSs, selecting UPSs that are in essence very energy efficient, but the way we deploy it in a modular way, well, that gets you an extra efficiency gain.
Can I ask you, just in regards to that modular viewpoint, with cloud computing, how do you provision for the future of cloud with your modular build out, even if you've got a customer that takes on one service but they may be expecting to expand in the future due to cloud services?
Yeah.
If that makes.
Yeah, so I think that there's a really good relation between the modular way of building out and the cloud approach. If you go a few years back, a few years ago we didn't have, for example, blade servers in our data centers. Then blade servers got introduced, and the amount of kilowatts per cabinet went to the roof. So the way we approach modularity, it gives us the flexibility to look at the life cycle of that module and the customer requirements that will change over time, and actually refurbish that module in itself when that's needed, and also have the opportunity to give them flexibility in the availability, so N+1, 2N, so the tiering in essence. Within that module you can select that for different modules depending on the customer's needs.
I've heard I had it said to me from somebody at Gartner in the US the other day that he was concerned that co-location players or other data center providers of sorts were provisioning too much for the cloud and betting too much on the cloud, and building out all of this additional capacity, and that he was concerned that demand may never quite get there as people virtualize in-house and take on these new in-house projects. What would your thoughts to that be?
Yeah, so 2 points to make. First off, looking at the market in the Netherlands and looking at the European market, we can't keep up with demand currently. So demand is higher than the amount of space that is available. So that's for the near future. You know what happens in the future with that. We can discuss that. But so that's for now. So if you look at our operations and our modular build out, same thing. We just can't keep up with demand to build fast enough, essentially. And then the other interesting thing in regards to cloud is a way of outsourcing your IT to somebody else, and it could be Amazon, could be Google or whatever cloud provider. And the interesting thing is that a lot of the startups now, they are really starting in cloud environments already. So they go to Salesforce, they go to Google Apps, etc. But there are a lot of other companies, really big enterprise organizations, that have a lot of sunken capital in their current IT, and they may currently operate their own data center, and they are looking at ways of bringing that to the cloud, but that step from taking your own IT and just moving that outwards, that's a trust issue. And the first steps that we see in the market currently is organizations actually taking that first step in something that has been there for a long time and has kind of been standardized. A rack or a cabinet, it's always 19 inch and a certain height. So there's a lot of standardization that has been going on there, and it's a really mature market, the colo market. So I see a lot of enterprise organizations taking the first step of saying, okay, we need to focus on what is really critical for our organization, and let's leave the data center that we currently have and move out to another data center. And those are the first steps for those enterprise IT organizations to actually move their IT out. So that's where I see a lot of growth coming from enterprise IT. Then from the other side, if you look at it from, for example, if you look at the cloud model, you have software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. And on the infrastructure as a service layer, there's a lot of technology that is really maturing and really mature currently. And there are a lot of startup organizations wanting to deliver infrastructure as a service, but they don't want to operate their own data centers. So they need a place to go. They need a place to start building their own data centers. And I see a lot of growth from that aspect also.
So you think the market's pretty safe in Europe at the moment?
Yeah.